guys, welcome to the cafe. So I wanted to make a couple bracelets. I had a bunch of memory wire in my stash along with my beads, and I go on appointments for work now, and I thought it would be really fun to have some pretty little bracelets to wear while I'm out on appointments and to have them for the YouTube videos. So I decided, why not? Let's make a few. And then I thought maybe you guys would like to see my quick little process here too. Now, if you're not familiar with memory wire, it's this great wire that holds its position, and it's as simple as this, and then you can just spiral it onto your wrist and it's done. Now, you can put charms on these, and today with the bracelet that we're gonna make, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple charms to the ends. I generally don't like to because I find that they get caught on stuff. So I have come up with a formula that I really like. Let me move this one out of the way. Both of these fit the formula, and I'll show you all these one at a time real quick too before we get started. But this is the formula I like. I like to have 4 rows, and then I like them to meet at the back of my wrist so that they kind of come together and it looks uniform and together like that. So that's what we'll be doing today. This one is a little bit different. It did take me making a few of these to kind of get my groove. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at what I've done, and then we'll go over materials and get started. So I'll just go through these one at a time and leave the 2 that are on my wrists on my wrists. Now, I love to use natural stones and shells, and then I like to use little glass seed beads as well, but I don't like pattern. So patterns look great. I think it adds a lot more interest if you don't follow a pattern. That's just my own personal taste. But patterns can look really beautiful. And if you like patterns, by all means, go ahead and make these with patterns. Today we're going to do a very random bracelet. And all of these that I've made so far are very random as well. So I've got a lot of tiger's eye on this one and some glass beads. I like to go to the gem show. We have a really nice gem show here every year, and it's in the middle of September, so it's coming right up next week. And these kinds of beads right here I get at the gem show, but I've got to tell you, Michael's and Joann's and Hobby Lobby have all come a really long way in with their stone beads and their stone chips. They have such great selections now, and they really do give the gem show a run for their money because the prices are great. And as you know, the beads, and if you don't know, let me tell you, the beads at all of those places periodically go on sale. So if you wait for the sales, you can get them very inexpensively and affordably at all 3 of those, Joann's, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby. I do get most of my beads there. Look at this one. This is really fun. I never really liked this combination together of the turquoise and red, but it's such a prominent combo in Southwestern fashion and artwork, and it grew on me. So I went ahead and made the bracelet, made one of these bracelets of these colors, and I really like it. I like the way it came out. And I've had that same situation with the gray and gold. So I didn't like that combination at all. And it was really like popular. It was all over the place. Everywhere I looked, it was just all over. And I have one golden gray bracelet that I'll show you in a minute. But here's turquoise and brown, really nice earthy colors here. And you know, you can go wild. These are so fun to make, and you know, all the artwork I do is really durable. My stuff needs to hold up to my lifestyle, and I'm rough on my stuff, and I don't like to have to be finicky about anything, and these really hold up well, and they take a beating, and you can be all over the place like I am, and these are going to hold up for you. So this one has a really nice little glass bead and all different kinds of stone beads and some other little glass beads in here. But you can mix this up, and sky's the limit with your taste. You can really just go wild. This one has some wood beads along with glass seed beads and stone beads and little citrine, like, what is that? Citrine quartz, I want to say citrine. I'm not sure about the quartz, but little stone chip beads. And I've got to tell you guys, sometimes the holes, when I go to string them on these bracelets, sometimes the holes on the beads are too small and you end up with kind of a little bit of a fight on your hands. I will try a bead, and if it gives me any trouble at all, I get rid of it. And I set it aside. I don't throw it back. I like to use these little dishes right here, and I'll show you the mix that we're going to be doing today. But boy, I do not wrestle with stuff today. If it doesn't want to go on, I'm not going to waste time trying to make it go on. Now, here's a warning bracelet for you. I got these beads. They were strung beads, and I got them at Michael's, these blue ones here. And I think that they are painted or dyed or something. And I wore this and it dyed my wrist blue. So you want to watch out for that. I was really surprised and disappointed about that. So if you get the glass ones, you're good to go. I haven't had any trouble with the metallic ones, but I have had trouble with this bracelet here. So quite disappointing. Here's another little stone one. This one really meets that formula of 4 strands and then meeting in the back like the one I have here. I just love the way it looks. Let me slow down a little bit and show you that up close. So that's generally the area I like to have the ends meet. And then I just really like that 4. Now you could go longer and longer if you want to with these. So, and it becomes an issue of comfort for me if they're too long and I've got really bulky, you know, like if I have like 10 strands. And a way around that is just put on 2 bracelets if you like that look too. So there's a couple different ways you can go about it. Now this one has stone beads on it and seashell beads, and then I've got some what else is on here, some wood beads, some metal beads. You can really put on some beautiful stuff. I've got some quartz crystal on this bracelet here. Lots of really pretty beads. And another benefit I love to working with random patterns is it goes much faster, and it's just much more enjoyable and satisfying to me when I'm having to work in patterns or having to have like a perfection kind of artwork. I just get really turned off to that today. It doesn't appeal to me. I don't find it fun. And if I'm not having fun, there's really not any point in doing it, right? So I want to have fun making my stuff, and I want to enjoy wearing it or looking at it if it's paintings, because I do a lot of that here. Don't do a lot of jewelry videos on my channel, but every now and then I like to throw one in. So here's the golden gray that I was talking about earlier. And these are some really beautiful ceramic beads. And I think I got those at, I just don't want to say. I'm not sure where I got the ceramic ones. And then I got some really pretty stone jasper ones. But just look around in your area. And if you don't have Joann's, Michael's, or Hobby Lobby, look online, because their selection is amazing. And their sales are really, it just makes it so easy to afford to be able to make these. So here are part, there's all my stash. I have one more. I'm not a big pink person. I put this seashell bead on here. Let me get in frame. And it had a black edge to it. And it looked terrible to me. I really didn't like it. So I just dabbed some chalk paint on there. And it may last, it may not, I don't know. But at least it got rid of the black. It doesn't look great, but it looks a lot better than the black that was on that seashell, because there's no black anywhere else on this bracelet. So you want to be mindful of little things like that. And you know, just like what happened with me with this bracelet, I just went ahead and painted it. So you have options, but it's better to just not add a bead that doesn't go to begin with. It's better to just make sure and keep them out of the mix entirely. So let's go over our wire real quick. These are the memory wires, and I was surprised because I had a couple packages of this right here, and this is stainless steel memory wire, and it says it's by Remembrance, and it says bracelet, and it's a round gauge, and so it doesn't have the gauge of the wire on here that I can see, but that's okay. Just get memory wire and just kind of make your beads. Get the beads that are gonna fit. If you go too tiny, you're just gonna have headaches, and I like chunky. I think the chunky is really beautiful, and there's so many options with the chunky, and I have put the really small seed beads on here and had no problems. So, you know, keep it in mind, you might run into a little trouble. But anyway, there's the stainless steel, and then the last time I went, I found this gold memory wire, really beautiful, and this stuff is large. Okay, so this is small. I made all of these with the small memory wire. So if you have small wrists, get the small. If you have a little bit bigger wrists or you want a bigger bracelet, they do have larger. So this you can get it in silver color or gold color. Today we're going to work with the gold color. And here's how I like to do it. I think that one I might have, it looks a little big. Let's go ahead and work from here. So I like to start on the end. Oh, let's go over pliers real quick. So these right here are actual cutters for memory wire, okay? So you want to use the right tool for the job. And then I've just got some needle nose sawtooth pliers here, and then I've got some round nose pliers. I did pull a couple little charms and a couple little jump rings, and we'll put those on at the end. Actually, we should put the first one on at the beginning. So what I like to do is you just want to take your little jump ring, and you need 2 pairs of pliers for this. I'm going to use the round nose and the sawtooth for these. And you want to open it sideways. You never want to pull it apart that way, because then it won't ever go back together like it's supposed to. So you just want to throw that on, and then reclose it the same way you opened it, and then you've got your jump ring. You want to use a jump ring, and the reason why is because if you don't use a jump ring, your charm will not flow freely on your bracelet. It'll keep getting caught. It has the chance of getting caught and stuck in weird directions where it's sticking out. The jump ring is going to give that charm the ability to move around and dangle like it's supposed to. And I can go ahead and shut these because they don't need to be opened again. So now that we've got this, I want to find my end, which is right there, and then I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want to go down here about right there. So just gauge it. And you might have a different preference, of course, and then just come in and snip that wire. These, I'm not sure why they take such a special tool, but everybody that I've heard that makes these uses this, so I'm just going to use it. No point in reinventing the wheel, right? Okay. So now you want to take your round nose pliers and you want to be far enough up on this to get a good size loop. Now I like to turn mine back first, and then I'm going to come down the length of that wire almost to the end, and I'm going to start curling it around. See that? So I've just got this little hook curl thing. Now before I go all the way, I'm gonna grab my charm and pop it on there. And then this is why the sawtooth pliers are so handy. They've got grip, they've got those little serrated inside edges, and it grabs a hold of the wire, and then you can just easily pull that together. Now, if of course this happens a lot where it will go over, you just want to pull it back a little bit and then just smush that. Now these are flat down further in here. This is a 3-in-1 tool. It's got a sawtooth blade that it's flat, and then it's got a cutter on the very inside, but I'm just trying to get to that flat part and then really just smush that down so that it's flat and closed. Okay, so now you've got your charm on, and then it's just very easy. Let's go over our little mix, and I'm gonna do just a tiny bit of this. I'm not gonna do the whole thing on camera because that's boring. So I'll do a tiny bit of it and then come back and show you what we've got. I wanna show you my mix of beads here that I've chosen for this bracelet. And like I said, don't fight your stuff. If you get a bead that doesn't want to fit, just get rid of it. It's so much better that way. So I've got these beautiful round stone beads. They look like little rocks. They're really gorgeous. And then I've got these very misshapen, kind of tribal looking white and cream spacer beads. And then I've got just a little mix of these metal spacer beads. Some of them are a little bit blingy, and there's just a few different kinds because I'm very into the random. I'm telling you, if you do random, it's just so much easier on you too. Because then, you know, if you run out of something, it doesn't matter. But if you're doing a pattern and you run out of something, it matters very much. So you can see where I'm going with that. Now, here's these beautiful little rounded, they're circles, but they're flattened a little bit, stone beads. And then I've got some jasper stone chips here. Oh, I do apologize. It's a very cloudy day, so my light is wreaking havoc on this video. I'm really doing my best here, but I wanted to show you guys this. So, and then here's some gold, metallic, beautiful gold seed beads, and I have not had any trouble with these rubbing off on my skin, just those blue beads. I'm not sure why. So all I want to do here is take my other end, and I like to start with a seed bead because these are strong and small. So I like to put one of those on first. And then I just start making a pattern. And I just start adding a couple of these, one or two of those. I won't put really big, like two really giant chunky beads together that are the same, just because I kind of like to mix up the variation. But you'll see as you go, you'll be like, oh, I did that before, I don't want to do that again. So I'm just grabbing from these different bowls. Now you want to keep in mind, these are pretty chunky, and I'm taking a risk by using this bead right here because it's pretty big and chunky, but I'm using a large memory wire, so I think I'm going to be okay with it. And the reason I bring that up is for comfort. You really want to make sure that you're not using beads that are going to scratch your wrist or poke you or be uncomfortable. Sometimes these stone beads will be really long, and I get rid of the really long ones just because I just don't think they're gonna work well, you know what I mean, on the bracelet. So you want to get a few of these, and then this part's really fun. Let me put a couple more on here. And this is so nice. You just grab from your dishes. By the way, I got these little dishes at Walmart, and these make life so easy. You can keep your beads separated, and then when you're done with that bracelet or necklace or whatever you're making, you can pop all this stuff back in the baggies. I keep all of my beads in baggies just to make it easy. So this part's fun. I just want to grab both ends, and it should work much easier than it is. Oh, it's only when I'm filming that this stuff happens. And then if you pull it, it just, of course, slides all your beads down into place, and then you just keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and sometimes your wire will get wonky on you, and see, I just straightened it out. So it just takes a little bit of patience to get that straightened back out. But here's what we have so far. So I'll finish this and come back, and we'll put the final charm on. Here's this beautiful, chunky, natural bracelet. And then here's the tail that I've left. You want a good little amount of wire left at the end, and that's what I have to work with. Now again, I'm gonna take my round nose pliers, and I'm gonna come back. This is even a little much. I could even stand to put maybe one more bead on here. Whoa. And I'm just gonna do a seed bead if I don't spill them all over the place. And that one's pretty fat. Let me try to find a thinner one. Here's a thinner one. So about like that, and you'll get a feel for this after you've made a few. You'll get a feel for your length and all those little preferences that we each have. So again, I want to take my round nose, and I want to butt that up against the beads. I want to make sure everything's snug and that nothing is stuck and there's no gap in the wire. Very important that you do that before you start this part here. And then I'm just going to bend it back like we did before, just like that. That nice little bend. And then I want to go really quite far up on my round nose pliers because I want this loop to be nice and big. And I'm just going to take it almost all the way around. Then we're going to slip our extra charm on here and grab our sawtooth pliers. I know this is kind of difficult to see, but you just want to squeeze it together. It's a very easy process, and don't be intimidated. You know, you start messing with wire and thinking, oh, I have to be so careful, I don't want to snap it. Well, if you snap a couple pieces, it's okay. If it's part of your learning curve, I look at stuff like that as it's part of my learning curve and it's cool. And if I break something, I need to break it to learn. So it's okay. You don't want to be breaking really expensive equipment, of course, but if you break a little piece of wire, no big deal. You know what I mean. So here, let's go ahead and put this beauty on. And it's got our lovely little feather charm, and this is the larger wired bracelet. So I have really tiny wrists, like abnormally small wrists. So this is pretty big and chunky on me, but I still love it. And let's say you wanna wear this and winter's coming. Winter is coming. But anyway, winter's coming. So let's say you want to wear a big old bulky sweater and you want to put your pretty bracelet on over your shirt. Here's another advantage to that large memory wire. Yeah, the large size. You know what I'm trying to say. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we're going to be doing a bunch of fun mark making coming up and watercolor projects. So please, by all means, like and subscribe. It helps me continue to bring videos to you guys. And I'm so glad you stopped by today. And I will see you very soon. Have a great day.